to go. So while it's interesting and good, and probably for mechanics, completely appropriate to worry about why that happened, and I'm going to say it's perfectly appropriate for theologians to worry about how exactly this happened. But for me, it's much more important to know that it happened. And now I'm going to suggest that not just the Universal Anglican Church, I'll say every church, but I want to talk about how the Universal Anglican Church is an example of what these lections are talking about. How do we do what we do with what we have? It's honestly pretty incredible. It isn't on the scale of the wonderfully large and resourceful and gifted institutional churches. They can do things that we'll never probably be able to. But was the fact that Elisha fed 100 any less wondrous and significant than the fact that Jesus fed multitudes? Is it all about quantity? Does it matter how much I love you? Or does it matter the quality of that love? We can get into a place where we look at service and success in a very materialistic way, where we measure it. Westerners love to measure stuff. And we know that bigger is always better. Until it falls apart, because there wasn't a structure there to support the size. The person who's hungry and needs to be fed doesn't care whether you feed her, 99 others, or thousands. They're touched because they're fed.
Yes.
And we get into that place, all of us, by virtue of being human beings, not just talking about church, where we say, I can't do it. But Elisha didn't say, I'm not Elijah, so I can't do it. He recognized his connection to the God of all, and he's called to do it, and he probably said, what the heck, I'll give it a shot, which is okay. Jesus didn't look back at Elisha and say, well, I can't do more than 100 because that's all he did. And I don't think he said, I'd better do at least 101 because it has to be bigger than what he did. He was moved. And the need was filled. It's not about the size of the need that made it filled in either case. It's the fact that the need existed. And so we're confronted with situations where we're tempted to say, I can't do it. Whether that's church or personal life, I can't do it. I don't know how. And what we miss is that none of us lives in a vacuum. So I don't have to do it alone. If it's true that I recognize that I can't fix my car, and believe me, I have tried and I now recognize it. I won't even tell you about the time I tried to pry a tire off a car with an 8-foot 2x4 because I couldn't get enough leverage. So I recognized in that moment I can't fix a car. And if it's okay for me to say I need some help with my car, why isn't it okay for me to say in other things I need help? Not I can't do it, but maybe I can't do it alone. Not I can't do this whole project, but maybe I'm going to need some help. And if it's true that there is one Lord, one faith, one baptism, then there is one people. And we aren't alone. We're together. And so it's not why, but it's why not. It's a huge difference in perspective. People need to be fed in New Hampshire, and one person does it by finding 4 churches to do That's not why. That's why not. That's not I can't do it, but I can't do it alone, so I'm going to grab the people by the ear, and I've seen her do it, and pull them together. If that's true for Mary in New Hampshire, that's true for you in Austin, Texas, in Tucson, Arizona, in Hartford, Connecticut, maybe even in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Perish the thought. I don't believe for a minute the miracle stories are meant to leave us in a place where we say, I am so powerless. This happens on such a grand scale that there's nothing I can do because I can't do it on a grand scale. The puzzle is made up of more than one piece. And so we don't have to be a piece that represents the whole puzzle. We can work together. We can drop our differences. We can throw up a website that 2 weeks later gets a call from a woman in Chicago 2 hours after someone's ordained priest to say, pray for me. What are the odds? And I say the question isn't about the odds. The question is about making ourselves radically available no matter what our call in life is, what our position in life is, who we know, where we are. It's about being available, and they will come. And when we say, I can't do it, remember that Jesus said, I tell you, you are God's. Now, he didn't say you're God, but he said you are God's. And I believe what that means is if you will just tap into the power and open your eyes to the help that's around you, there truly is nothing that you can't do.